Most people think that only some people can make 10K a month in high ticket sales, or you have to be lucky to find a good job, or not everybody makes money, and all of this is bullshit. I've been in high ticket sales for 5 years. I've done 20K a month as a closer for over 18 months straight, and I've been helping people get into these high ticket closer roles and make 10K a month consistently. All of these videos on my channel are all about this, and it's all I talk about. So in this video, I'm going to answer the questions that I get from skeptical people and people that are just on the fence about this. So first question, if this is so legit, why isn't everyone doing it? Why don't more people know about it? And this is a obvious answer, because internet businesses, high ticket sales, it's in its very early stages, and this is a very niche area of sales. Yes, people have been selling things on the internet, running online businesses for 20 plus years. But if you go outside in public and you ask 100 people, and you did this every day, most of them are not going to know what online business is or what high ticket sales is. You might ask 100 people and all 100 would have no idea. But this is the wrong way to think about it, because people think, well, if no one I know knows about it, it must not be legitimate or real. But if I see everyone else I know doing something, all the normal people, then it must be the right thing to do. This is backwards for a few obvious reasons. First, let's say you were a teenager and you asked a bunch of adults, right? Adults, hey, what should I do with my life? What is the right path for me, a young kid, if I want to be successful? And every single one of them is going to tell you to go to college and get some corporate 9-to-5. Get a job after a good job after college. That's how you become successful, right? Meanwhile, almost 100% of the people that do this end up in massive debt, and when they graduate, they can't even find a good job. They're working at like Chipotle or some shit, and they definitely aren't making good money. You just paid possibly $100,000 for a worthless piece of paper that's supposed to benefit you, but it gave you no ability to make a lot of money. That is what a crazy person does. Yet people are still doing this. All the time. Most people are still doing this, even though this is common knowledge. That is objectively stupid. That's not my opinion. That is concrete facts stupidity. On the flip side, you have actual teenagers that do high ticket sales and are making 10 to 20K a month. But because most people aren't doing this, you don't want to do it. Interesting logic. Secondly, if you could go back to, let's say 2011, with all the knowledge that you have today, where are you going to put all of your money? Into Bitcoin. Obviously, you would be insanely wealthy without having to do anything if you would put every single dollar that you could find into Bitcoin from like 2010 onward, when it was worth like 1 penny. But you had no idea what it was, right? When I saw Bitcoin, because I actually saw this in like 2011, I was like, what the hell is this stupid shit? An internet coin? This is a scam, right? A scam. Now, this is an extreme example. I'm not saying high ticket sales is Bitcoin, but the point I'm making remains. In 5 years, you're going to wish that you got into this, because many, many, many more people are going to be doing this. When I first got into this 5 years ago, no one was doing this. Now it's way more popular. What do you think it's going to be like 5 years from now? That just proves my point. And you could have been making really good money, but you didn't do it because the rest of the people you know weren't doing it. It was a bad way to make decisions. A secret to life that I have learned is that most people have no fucking idea what they're doing at all. And that includes older adults. No one has any idea what they're doing. They're just repeating societal beliefs that someone else said to them. Have you ever seen that Family Guy skit? I wish I could remember off the top of my head what episode it's from, but he's like, I'm just repeating things that someone else said to me, and now I say it. Now I repeat the same shit like I came up with it. It's just like, you're just fucking regurgitating shit someone else said to you. Think about how dumb that is. So when you realize this, your reality will break, and you'll be like, wow, no one really has any idea what they're doing at all, just like me. Everyone's just kind of winging life, and most people are just following the herd on the slow walk off of the cliff. But at least they're fitting in and not standing out and doing something weird. At least their loser friends aren't talking shit about them, right? At the end of the day, it's all people really care about is fitting into the group and doing the societally acceptable right thing, quote unquote. Most people don't want to succeed. They just want to fantasize about it. All most people want deep down is to be accepted by other people. That is their root, deep emotional motivation. But following that will lead you to a life of mediocrity and kill your dreams, sadly. So you just need to understand There's no right thing. Like, there's no right way to, all this is made up. It's all made up, bro. You can do whatever you want. It's up to you to decide what's right for you, whatever that is. Like, I've just never understood this. Most people you only get one life, bro. Like, you're going to die. And most people make their entire life decisions based off what their family wants them to do, and they never do anything they actually want to do, and they just live their entire one life that way. Like, oh, well, my dad wants me to be a doctor, but I'll never tell him I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to do this for the rest of my fucking life just so he doesn't get mad at me. My family wants me to get married. I want to do this other shit, my dreams, but I'll just do this so they'll stop annoying me. Like, what? That's a weak ass shit, bro. If my parents wanted me to do something I didn't want to do, I'd be like, well, too bad. I'm not doing that. I just never understood doing something you don't really want to do. How do you do that? Like, that shit would tear me to pieces inside, bro. Like, that's an understatement. This stuff's going to eat you alive from the inside over the course of decades, and you're going to wake up an angry, rage-filled old man filled with regret that has no chances left to do what he truly wanted to do. That is your future when you live like this. So if that's you, just wake up, decide not to do that. But internet businesses are only growing larger. So they're exploding. More and more people are starting them every day. More people are going online to buy education and information and get help from people to solve problems. So the need for high ticket salespeople is only going straight up. This is just a fact. It's just a rocket ship going upward. If the one thing holding you back is, well, I don't really see lots of other people doing it, you're never going to make any of the moves necessary to succeed at anything. It doesn't matter what it is, because you are held back by what other people think. There's a giant, like, cruise ship sized anchor around your ankles. You're done. Next question. What happens if I get into this, I get into a high ticket sales role and it doesn't work out, or I have to go find a new job/role? First, I don't think it's a good idea for you to constantly jump from offer to offer until you have a lot more experience. So you should get in with a good business and just stay there. So when you get into a good role, though, sometimes things happen. People change offers in high ticket. That is just how it is. But that's also with any job. The job you have, and it's increasingly more common today, especially with the Skynet robots coming. The job you have now, they could come in tomorrow, blindside sucker punch you and be like, hey, times are tough. You're all fired. Goodbye. That's happening every day. This is a reality no matter what you do. But in high ticket sales, good salespeople are in demand. So the demand is going up, whereas in normal 9-to-5s, it's going straight down. That's all you need to know, right? Good salespeople are in demand in high ticket, and they are hard to find. That is the sole reason why programs like mine exist, is to fill that hole in the market and help business owners get connected with good salespeople. And most people getting into this are also brand new. So if you even just have 1 year of experience doing this, you are highly in demand, because you have experience, and most people flooding into this don't have high ticket experience. So if you were in a job, a high ticket role, and it went under or whatever happened, it would now be easier for you to find another one because you already have experience and connections. That is huge leverage for you. The first role is always the hardest one to get. That's why I work with beginners and not advanced high ticket salespeople, because it's not that hard to get a high ticket sales role after you've already worked one. See what I'm saying? Businesses need good salespeople. So once you get into this and you have experience and connections, it would be very difficult for you to not find another good role. And if you went through my program to get that initial role, now you know exactly what to do to get another one. And you're also equipped with experience. So again, just like anything, beginning is the hardest part. But once you've been doing something and you get experience, it just gets easier and easier. This is no different. Next question. Is this a smart career move in a recession? And I feel like I've completely answered that at the beginning of this video, but the answer is, more specifically, when you're selling to people who have money, it doesn't matter what's going on with the economy. It doesn't matter if we have a Great Depression times 10. There are still people out there who have money, tons of them, who are spending that money all the time. So when people think of a recession, they're thinking very narrow-minded. Oh, well, the economy is terrible. I saw all these really horrifying statistics on the news. That must mean every person is broke and it would be a bad time to get into sales, right? This is like a talking head, like news story that they're just fucking diarrhea regurgitating. Again, this is a very simpleton, closed-minded way of thinking. There are 380 million people in America. Do you really think the news knows what's going on, or some dude you follow on X knows what's going on with all of these people? or that any of these things are telling you what's actually going on? Do you really think the news or some dumbass with like a bunch of followers on X knows exactly what's going on with every single person and that they're telling you the real deal? They're just making content. They're just making news stories. It's just nonsense. They're just trying to get you to watch. They're not delivering you the facts. They're not delivering you reality. But that's what people do. They go, oh, this guy on X I follow said the economy is horrible, right? Oh, the news said things are so bad. And then they base their entire reality off of what these people on a screen told them, who they don't even know personally, instead of their own experience. There are always lots of people who have money and who are spending. Do you know how many people, this is just America, how many people 380 million people is? And the beauty of high ticket products is that they solve legitimate problems people want to solve. People want to buy these products. So people are always going to spend money to buy them and have these problems solved. And here's the punchline, most online business owners that I've spoken to or are selling high ticket stuff, they're doing just fine. Not affected at all. I'm not. And this is another benefit to running a lean online business that sell products and services that people will buy no matter what is going on. Now, if you're knocking on doors trying to sell them solar panels in a recession, yeah, maybe go sell something else. Recession doesn't matter. Next question. Can I get into this part-time if I have a full-time job? This is a very normal, common question because everyone has a job. I have made many videos on this. They're on my channel. But if you are working a full-time job and your time is extremely limited, very important point, I recommend that you just try to start with appointment setting and then you can transition into a closer role like 3 months later, 6 months later, whatever, rough time frame. Because with appointment setting, you can do it all from your phone. It's much easier to do when you have a full-time job or something else going on, because obviously when you're a closer, you're on calls the whole time. You can't really work a full-time job and take a full-time slate of sales calls or even a part-time slate of sales calls. And even though there are some roles that you will find who are like, yeah, sure, you can take 2 or 3 closing calls in the evenings, many of them are going to want you to either work a full day of calls or very close to that, right? And they're going to want you to take them during the day, which is typically when people work jobs. So think about it like this. If a business owner needs a salesperson, he's not hiring someone to take 3 calls a day. He needs someone to come in and take all of the calls, right? So it doesn't really make sense. But if you just appointment set for a few months, you can easily move to closer. You can make 5 to 8K as a broad range as an appointment setter, and that will help you get out of your job. And then you can now full-time close and make way more money. So an important side note is when I say this to a lot of people, they're like, well, I have a full-time job. And I'm like, okay, do appointment setting. They're like, well, I don't want an appointment setting. I'm like, you can't just do that for 3 to 6 months. What do you want here? This is you got to pick both options. Maybe you don't want to do them, but at least one of them is going to get you where you want to go, right? Just drop your ego and make it about the money. That's how I've always thought. I don't care about my ego. I just care about the money. All I care about is succeeding and becoming extremely financially successful so that I can live my life exactly how I want to live it. No one can tell me what to do, and I have no restrictions on what I'm able to do, right? That's what should be the goal. And that's just the attitude that more people need to have, and most people don't have this attitude. Well, once you get the money, you can do whatever you want. You can live your life however you want to live it. It's just so obvious. I don't understand why every person doesn't do this. But it goes back to what we were talking in the beginning of the video. And just like what I said earlier, most people care more about what the people they know think about them. So they never try to do anything. Or they're terrified, oh, I'm going to what if I fail? Yeah, bro, I failed 5,000 times. All the time, bro. I'm not going to go off on a tangent here. But this is ego holding you back. If you care more about what people think about you than you do about succeeding, and you're not willing to go through the mud to get to that success and have people talk shit about you, look stupid, fail, all that stuff, then you just are going to live your life for other people's approval and you're going to have a shit life. Time to pick. Now, if you have a full-time job, are there still ways that you can jump right in and do this? Of course, but it's all going to depend on your specific situation. But in general, obviously, if you want to make good money above 10K, things like that, that's going to be full-time closing. And at some point, anyway, you're going to have to go all in with this, and that might be a little scary, but many people before you have made this transition and it worked out for them, so it will work out for you too, as long as you do the work. Next question, how do I vet these roles beforehand so I know that it's a good job or not? And I have many videos on this as well, but to truncate it, you want to ask them specific questions on the interview. So the first thing you want to ask is how much money they make. Just straight up. What was your revenue last month? What was your cash collected? Do you make any money, right? You want to know how much the business is making. And you could ask them, if they have other salespeople, what's the top closer on your sales team making every month? And then what is the bottom closer on your team making every month? So do the salespeople make good money? Where am I going to fall in this range? Will I be taking consistent inbound scheduled calls? Or are you hiring me to do an outbound role where I'm just going to be cold calling and outreaching to people all day? Obviously, you don't want the second one. Another question, how many calls will I be taking every day? How are you getting those calls scheduled? So is it from paid social media ads? Is it organic, straight from social media content? If you just ask those questions, that's going to give you so much information about the job right there. You'll basically know everything you need to know about whether it's a good role or not. And you can even ask more specific questions like, what's the ticket price of the product? What's my commission going to be? What's the show rate of the calls that you get scheduled? And with these answers, you can easily tell if the role is bullshit or if it's legitimate. So the answer is you just need data, and you can get all that data on an interview. So that's the end of the video about skeptical questions. If you want my help getting a closer role or a setter role, go to the links in the description. Until next time.